guys want the microphone?
No.
No.
You want to do this?
Yes.
Yes? No. No. We want
Do
to
you want a
roll.
sweater or not? That's a better question.
Take it off. Wow, you guys are rowdy today. First of all, I'm very flattered you guys wanted to come spend the afternoon with me. Aaron's got some good stuff, so that means a lot. I have a ton of value. I want you guys to experience some things. I'm going to try to move as quickly as possible, and if I do, we're going to get to a little bonus section at the end on energy and manifesting. Does that interest you guys?
Yes.
All right. I didn't think so. So this summer, I was camping in the North Woods, and I caught a 32-inch pike, and I had it roasting over the open fire. It was amazing, and I felt like a man. I felt like a woodsman. And I heard footsteps, big footsteps. And I got my flashlight, and I looked around, and it kept coming to me, but the woods were really thick, so I couldn't see it. And my heart started racing, and it just circled my campsite and wandered off. And I had this flush of hormones over my body. And I'm a guy that's like, you know, I can get into state, I can get relaxed, I can master my mind, but I couldn't do it. And I was like, I think that was a bear. And I was freaking out. They're like, black bears don't attack, I'll be fine. But my heart was racing. And so I got this idea that when our hormones and our endocrine system takes over control of our body, we really go into autopilot, don't we? Yeah, and so an hour later, I heard a splash in the water. And I looked down, and the bear was there, splashing in the water and challenging me. I couldn't eat my food because I was anxious. My digestive system shut down. My vision got really sharp. My hearing got really sharp. When you're in the middle of nowhere, you hear some noises in the woods. It is loud. I mean, there's so much noise. So I was just on edge. And so this is, you guys don't face bears in your everyday life, but this is what happens to us. We face a subtle state of stress and anxiety. And for that purpose, it was very useful for me to be aware and awake to what was going on. So I went into fight or flight, and I analyzed the situation. I thought, you know what, I should probably call my parents to pick me up. And it was midnight. I'm a 32-year-old man. They had to drive 40 minutes. So I almost would have rather faced the bear, but my subconscious autopilot took over and goes, well, I don't want to have to hurt the bear. So I had my parents come pick me up. So again, that's very useful in that situation. When you guys have to go into your job and your endocrine system is dumping cortisol into your stomach, shutting down your digestive system on a daily basis, you start to develop issues, don't you?
Yeah.
And our subconscious mind has anchors for everything in our life that trigger emotional responses. And when we live in that fear-based emotion, it's even worse. So at the end of today, my manifesting talk, we'll talk about how that affects our energy centers. But right now I want to focus on our subconscious program. So, this is you. Again, this is our neocortex. This is our conscious mind. This is where we make decisions. This is where we set our goals. All estimates say this is 5% of our actions. I have no idea how they came up with that number, but this is what it is. So we make a decision, and usually that decision and that action stems from our subconscious limbic lizard brain, okay? And this runs on a series of programs just like a computer. And some of us have been to Date with Destiny. Who's been to Date with Destiny? Woo! Okay, good start. A couple of us. Other than that, like, we never learn this stuff. You guys think it's important to know the systems that are running your life?
Yeah.
Might be useful. So I'm going to teach you how this works, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and then we're going to figure out in our own lives how some of these systems are affecting us, and again, steering us away from our conscious goals. All right, so we have, first of all, we have needs. How many of you are familiar with the 6 human needs? Okay, a few of you. So this could be those kind of Tony Robbins type 6 human needs. I think Maslow's hierarchy of needs can be massaged into Tony's needs. But first of all, we need to meet our needs. And there's 6 human needs. Sal, what's the first one?
Certainty.
Certainty. So when I was facing that bear, I had to have the certainty that I was going to get out alive. That was number 1. Everything else, forget about it. I'm focused on that. What's number 2?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. So I went camping in the woods to get some variety and see what was going to happen and shake things up, right? And then we have significance. I get significance by being up here on stage talking. We all get significance in different ways in our lives. Next,
Love and connection.
love and connection. Somebody was paying attention at UPW. We all need love and connection. Next, so I call the needs of certainty and significance needs of the ego. All right, if these are your 1 and 2 needs, you're gonna have some issues. So after love and connection is growth. Who here likes growth? Yes, this is why I'm here with you guys. I love growth. You guys couldn't tell, and you guys do too. And the last one, once we've gotten all of these down, our highest and best need, contribution. How do we give back? All right, so this is our first hierarchy. How do we meet our needs? And the order in which we pursue our needs will vary for each of us. But we all need all 6 human needs. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So after the needs, we have values. And there's 2 types of values. We have towards values and we have away from values. All right, can you guys think of some examples of some towards values? Maybe success, hard work, honesty, integrity. Yeah, there you go.
Discipline.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yeah.
Family.
Freedom, family. Yes.
Culture.
Okay, so give me a few examples of away from values. What you don't like to feel.
Stress. Fear.
Dishonesty, stress,
Failure.
fear of failure. How about rejection? All right, this makes sense?
Yep.
So, do you guys think that you would give up one of your values in order to meet a need?
Yes.
Every time. If these are in conflict, you will give up your values. All right, and we'll give some examples of this stuff. Well, so we'll do some case studies where we see how these are in alignment and these are conflicting, or they're all conflicting. All right, so if you guys can identify, we're not going to get too far into this because I don't really have time for this, but this is the program that I want you guys to understand, and I want you to be able to take your 90-day goal, and we'll see how we can use these to accomplish that, and see what's incongruent with accomplishing your 90-day goal. You guys think that would be useful?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then as someone that's interested in growth and a coach for your team, for other people, you can also see what's stopping them. All right, so these all get met based on our beliefs. Yes, thank you. Good job, guys. These all get met based on our beliefs. So our subconscious computer says, it analyzes the situation. It says, based on everything I've ever learned and what I believe, here's how I meet my needs and live my values in the most efficient way. I'm camping with a bear. I need certainty. It says, you know what? You can pick up the phone and call your parents and deal with their shit. Right? So we do this every day. So we have, like I talked about with my friend's ex-girlfriend the other night, when I said she has a belief about how she meets her need for significance, right? And that was throwing a fit. That was her subconscious belief. All right? So she acts in a way, boom, that's met. But it's also incongruent with her need for certainty in a stable relationship. So we can look at these and we can see how those beliefs conflict within this, right? If you guys, number 1 needs certainty and your number 2 needs variety, a little conflict there? Yeah, absolutely. And then our beliefs about how we meet them can also conflict. So then we get into our values and we can see conflict there as well. So if my number 1 need is success, I want to feel successful, but my number 1 away from value is rejection, how likely is that to happen? Not. If you're in sales, how many times do you need to get rejected to close a sale?
99.
It started at 7, right? Now they say 16. So if you're afraid of rejection, if you're away from values, rejection, and you're towards value, success, we have a little bit of conflict. And that's the reason that 90-day goal we don't always hit. We don't have the right subconscious autopilot to take us there. And when we hit that fear and stress and we have an option to go do dishes instead of pick up the phone, we go do dishes. You guys on board with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's do a couple examples here. I want to get you guys some practice. All right, so I met a guy at an event, very successful guy. He was drafted into war at 15 years old. He showed up to the front lines and he had to wait for someone to die to get their gun. He got 10 bullets a day. And he pissed himself every day on the lines until he found anger. You guys think that was an extreme emotional event that created that program? So he found anger at 15 years old. And that anger allowed him to survive. The number one goal of the subconscious. It allowed him to survive. So now he thinks anytime he faces trouble or stress or hardship, we go into anger mode, we bust that shit out, right? We break it up, we charge through it. Very useful when you're fighting a war, not so useful when you're trying to build relationships. When you're trying to have a happy partner, when you're trying to have a team that follows you, that believes in you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for me, I had a desire for success, and I had a belief that money equals success. All right, so you see the value, you see the belief is success. I also believed real estate was a good way to accomplish that. Make sense? A lot of us have that belief. Who has that belief? Real estate's a good way to accomplish that. Yes. Now, when I started, I heard people saying, well, there's no good deals in this market. And you guys ever hear that? There's no good deals in this market. Now, I got to make a decision. Do I want to believe that or not? If I believe that, even though I believe real estate's a good vehicle, even though I believe, that real estate can make me money, if I don't think I can do it in this market, those beliefs conflict with each other. So I said, no, I believe I can make money in this market. But even if I believe those three things, and I doubt myself, I doubt my ability, I doubt my self-worth, and I say, I believe I can make money in real estate in this market, but I don't believe that I'm worth it. You see how those beliefs conflict as well? So you guys see how often we can get caught up and not even know it. So that's the value of having a great coach, is they can say, oh, well, your needs are out of alignment. You have needs that conflict with each other. You have values like success and rejection that are going to stop you dead in your tracks every time. And even if we get these in alignment, now the beliefs behind it about who you are, about your industry, those all have to be congruent as well. All right, so you guys want to do some work around that today?
Yeah.
That would be useful? Yeah. All right, cool. Let me see if I have another example written down. I had a couple. Okay, so I was working with a guy who, as I was talking to him, his needs and his values would come out. And he was always hesitant. He always wanted approval. So I would say approval was one of his top towards values. And it stopped him from taking action in a lot of areas of life. My mom thought I was crazy to quit my job and go into real estate. Any of you guys ever experienced that? Mm-hmm. So if I had listened to her, I would be stuck. I wouldn't be living my values, I'd be living her values. So this guy was living someone else's values because he wanted their approval. He believed that if he did what other people wanted, he would get love. Make sense? Yeah. So I took him back to a time when he was like 5 or 6 years old, and his parents had him in travel soccer, and he hated it. As a 5-year-old, he hated it, and his parents thought he was going to be the next Pele or Ronaldo. And one day, he quit. He said, Mom, I don't want to play soccer anymore. And guess what happened? Mom cried. And so this little 5-year-old thinks, in order for me to get love and not to hurt people that I love, I have to make sure everybody approves of what I do. So now he has that belief that affects every single decision that he makes. And so we dug into that a little bit. And awareness can sometimes start to break things up. but not always. Again, this is programmed through extreme emotional events. So sometimes we got to take a jackhammer and sledgehammer and break that up using hypnosis, guided visualizations, meditations, whatever you want to call it. You guys on board with that?
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I would tell my mom I want to do something, and she'd always go, but what if, her number one need is certainty. One of my top needs is variety. So every time I go to make a decision, Melissa actually pointed this out to me. Every time I go to make a decision, I'm like, oh, do you think I should do that? Like, is that okay? Like, I'm going to do this. Is that okay with you? And Maddie talks about hesitation killing our desires, right?
Yeah.
We have this, our soul speaks to us, and it goes, hey, take this action. And then your subconscious goes, wait a minute. Hold on a second, we got to make sure everybody likes this. We want love. Right? The most emotional event we can get is love. How do we get love? And that's why during the meditation today, I wanted you guys just to feel love, to give love to yourselves. Alright, let's do a little exercise. You guys all have a very clear idea of what you want your 90-day goal to be?
Yes.
Or 180 days, or whatever that is.
Yep.
Alright, so put your feet on the ground, put your hands down. Alright, and just relax. Close your eyes and just settle in. And I want you to see that 90-day goal. See yourself accomplishing it. Don't worry about the steps, just see yourself accomplishing that goal, taking steps to get there. Maybe see a roadblock, and notice how you respond to that roadblock. Notice the feeling on the way to that goal. And then again, see yourself accomplishing it, and notice how you feel. Alright, you guys can open your eyes at any time. Who had a little bit of conflict in their stomach? A little bit of a reaction? Yeah?
Yeah.
If you guys didn't, you didn't set big enough goals. So does anyone want to talk about their conflict or their goal? Okay, well that's another issue. So you guys got to get the clarity first before we can program the subconscious. Because if I don't have clarity on what you want, or what you want to, even if it's just what you want to feel, I can't give you guys a new pattern. So
My main goal is finding clarity, and there's so many different pathways to take and so many things I'm interested in. People who are doing this course over here, let's get into real estate, let's get into coaching, let's get into hypnosis, let's get into energy flow, and I love all of it. But being able to find what I'm meant to do and like where I excel above all else is when you're saying set a 90-day goal. Well, okay, I want a girlfriend, and I want to be financially free, and I want to be free to travel, and I want to.
God, you want everything. You're so selfish.
I know.
All right, so that's another issue. I want to talk about that a little bit at the end. But here's how that works. You have to find the feeling of the clarity.
The feeling was the clarity of I'm in my place. I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do.
But you find the feeling of clarity first,
Yeah.
and live in that energy, and then you tap into the right thought patterns that are going to give you the idea that's the right course of action.
Amen.
So you find that place of love, of presence, and you live who you are now with that intention, and you let the idea come to you. Right? Your subconscious mind says, oh, Maddie made money flipping, I want to do that. Oh, that's a good way to survive. That's a way to meet this. Oh, Marcos is doing taxis, I should do that. Right? Your subconscious mind is going all over the place as you learn new things and your beliefs are going. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about that a little bit at the end. Does anyone else have a clear 90-day goal?
Yeah, so mine is to finish an online course.
Okay.
Fully develop it. And what I ran into was the values of success and hard work versus the value of family. Right? Like, what do I have to give up in those 90 days to get the hours in, to get the project done versus not being with my kids?
So Ryan says, in order for him to have the success and make the money, he's got to compromise one of his values of family time. You guys see the conflict?
Yeah.
So what if I told you that by developing the course, you're going to be much wealthier and have much more time with family, right? And you probably know that up here, but it's that extreme emotional event that's going to reprogram you, right? It's visualizing with so much clarity, so much emotion, that feeling of visualizing that check coming into my bank account, checking it on my phone while I'm hanging out with my kids, while I'm on a road trip. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? How are we doing on time? All right. Oh, we got time.
That's 2 hours.
We're gonna go as long as we need to.
So my 90-day goal is to pay off my parents' credit card debt, which is $35,000.
Okay.
And what my towards value is to take care of them so that they don't have to work as hard. My away value is, am I enough, or am I capable, am I good enough to, so it's that fear of failure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what's the number one fear? So, all right, we have a bear. I'm afraid of the bear because my life is at risk. Now, as a baby, when a baby doesn't get love, what is their...
Right.
No, when a baby doesn't get love and they die from not getting love, what's that called?
Failure to thrive.
Failure to thrive. So they did experiments in Nazi Germany. There's babies. They don't give them any stimulation. They give them everything they need besides love, and the babies die.
They did an experiment.
Yeah, the
The rest
Nazis
is,
did, yeah.
the rest is monkey.
So in order for humans to survive, we have this belief that we need to get love. It's at our core. So our biggest fear is that we're not enough to get loved. So this is going to come up in every area. I get up here on stage and I'm like, I've done all the work. Is this going to be good enough? Am I going to be good enough? Right? So I step up here anyway. I've learned to tame this somewhat. I got a little nervous last night. You know, it happens. And I think, am I enough? Am I going to fail? What's going to happen then? I'm not going to get loved.
You're loved.
Thank you. You guys are too. I love all of you guys. So she has a goal to pay off her parents' debt, and then she has a doubt. She has doubtful thoughts, and that creates conflict in our energy system, which is what I want to talk about at the end. So that doubt, we have to create a new emotional event that says, yeah, I am good enough to do that. Make sense? You guys all on board?
Yeah.
So visualizing with emotion every day those goals. Now, like Jonathan said, I have a lot of different goals too, and like which one do I focus on? I'm all over the place. I don't have an answer. That's my thing. I deal with that too. So I'm one of those visionary guys that has all these things going on. Okay, so yes.
Could it also be that she might have hesitation because she may feel like she needs to get some training in an area that she may feel weak in to then be competent?
Yeah, again, there's all kinds of beliefs that underlie that. So we can dig into, the vehicle she's going to use, she has beliefs about. The timeline she's got beliefs about. There's all kinds of different sub-beliefs. It's not usually just like, oh, here's your one belief, you give me a program, and you go. Because you guys spend a lifetime developing these beliefs, right? I get smokers that say, well, can you do it in one session? I'm like, have you only done one session of smoking? So all of these things can be done in one session. I've done some amazing things. I worked with someone who, she was making chicken the other night, or years ago, she was cooking a chicken, and she dropped the chicken and visualized the chicken's whole family and had this really intense moment that she was like eating an animal, and she went through years of that. Yeah, I know, Brett. This story doesn't have a happy ending for you. So she wanted to get back to eating meat, right? She had this emotional event where she didn't eat meat for years, and so I gave her this new emotion where I had her visualize eating dinner with her family, and I played onto all of her values again with eating meat, spending time with your family, feeling, the protein, feeling powerful.
You went the wrong way.
These are her needs. I do not judge values. I give people what they want. So she texts me the next day and goes, hey, I just had popcorn chicken. That shit was good. So it can be done in one session. That's what I'm saying. Does that make sense? All right, let's do an exercise where we get into some emotion and congruence around that belief. You guys think that'd be valuable?
Yeah.
All right, so one thing before we do. Hypnosis is a tool I use. Really, it's not that different from meditation. Hypnosis puts you into a relaxed, suggestive state where you can kind of disassociate from your body. So basically, I'm pulling back this part so I can just put thoughts into your subconscious. Just go straight into the subconscious. Now, when I was in fear mode, my body was incredibly tense. For hypnosis to work, you guys got to be totally relaxed. So you see how the exercise we did this morning, did you guys feel relaxed as I was walking through that exercise?
Yes.
Yeah. So I got a lot of this from, again, the book Psycho-Cybernetics, where if you're in a relaxed state when you visualize, you're going to get it through. If you have those thoughts of doubt, if you have those fear that are jamming up your stomach, your subconscious is going to say, hey dude, we don't want to learn anything right now. We just want to survive. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So everyone have a clear idea of your 90-day goal.
Yes.
Okay. Let's put our stuff down, get situated. And I want to give you one disclaimer here. Hypnosis is not me putting you into some robotic mode. You guys are going to be conscious, you're going to be aware. There's different levels of hypnosis. So just because you can move your hands and you can think and your mind can wander, it doesn't mean you're not in a state of hypnosis. Does that make sense? Just like meditation. So really it's a guided visualization meditation. All right, so make sure I covered everything I wanted to before that. All right, now there's this idea called fractionation. How many of you do Tony Robbins priming?
Every morning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he does this. Tony's a brilliant hypnotist. He's a little bit subtle. He's a little more Ericksonian. But he does this idea of you do the hand things and then you go down and relax. You do the hand things and you go down and relax. And so that fractionation, every time you go down and relax, you go to a little bit deeper level. So we're going to do an exercise and have you guys stare at a point on the wall, focus on that, let everything drift away. I'm going to snap my fingers, your eyes will close, and I'll snap them and you'll bring them back up. All right, and I'll walk you through this whole time. So we'll do that 3 times, and then we'll find an even deeper state of relaxation. And then we'll go right into the visualization. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yes.
All right, cool. So if you guys want to get comfortable, keep your legs uncrossed. What's that?
You stood right in the way of my point.
Oh, I'll get out of the way. So find a point on the wall across from you, totally relaxed. Start to breathe deeply. And you notice that your eyes are getting heavy. Just let everything else in the world fade away. And any sound you hear just serves to take you deeper into a state of relaxation. And when I snap my fingers, your eyes will close and you'll go into a deep state of trance, of relaxation. 3, your eyes are getting heavier and heavier. 2, you want them to close, but don't let them close just yet. And 1, eyes closed, go down deep inside. Inhale that pure oxygen through your whole body. Feel that oxygen circulating throughout. Deeper and deeper. And feel yourself getting heavier and heavier, sinking into the chair. And this time when I snap my fingers, your eyes will open and you'll stay deep in a state of trance, deep in hypnosis. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, nice and relaxed, still in trance state. Find that point of fixation again and focus on that. Don't strain, just focus. As we go from 3, 2, 1, eyes closed, even deeper inside. And this time your body feels light and airy, and you feel like you can float away. As you get lighter and lighter, more and more relaxed. And 3, 2, 1, eyes open, deep in trance. Find that point of fixation one more time. And just relax. And that cricket noise just serves to take you deeper into a state of hypnosis. And 3, 2, 1, eyes closed, even down further. And again, grab that blanket from this morning and imagine it's wrapped around you, warming you, comforting you, giving you peace and relaxation. And visualize yourself like a spectator. In 90 days from now, see yourself accomplishing that goal. And watch that version of you experience all the pride, all the joy, all the happiness of that success. And to you that might be contribution or growth. But think about what value you're meeting by accomplishing this goal. And again, you're just a spectator. And walk around you at the pinnacle of that moment. Maybe it's buying your first investment property. Maybe it's buying your 100th. Maybe it's selling a business or buying a business or starting a relationship. And see all the emotion around that and walk around that scene. Notice the joy on your face. Notice the body language, the clothes, all the little details. Maybe you're on vacation in the Bahamas after you made some money, after you launched your course, after you got your first paid speech, whatever that might be. And now put a circle of light around that future version of yourself. Whatever color comes to you. And that circle of light gets brighter and brighter. And you're still just a spectator, just watching the scene. And let that colored light flow through that future you. And freeze the scene. And walk around it like a ghost. And in a moment, I'm going to have you step into that body and to feel all of the emotions. Step into that new identity. And just look one more time at the facial expressions, the emotions, the joy of that goal being accomplished. And feel the anticipation of stepping into that new identity. And now step in, step forward into that identity. See that colored light swirling around you, swirling through you. And your endocrine system dumps new hormones, give you new emotions that create a new identity for you. This is your new identity. Step into those facial expressions, the smile, the joy, the confidence. Own this identity. This is you. And look around at your family. What does this goal mean to them? What does accomplishing this give to them, to your friends, to yourself, your freedom? And see that light swirling through you. See that color swirling through you. Feel that emotion. Own it. This is the new you. And it doesn't matter how you get there. Don't worry about the how. That's going to show up when you own this. When you put out the right energy. When you live in this identity, you will figure out how. And walk around in this body in your mind for just a moment. The confidence, feel it. Good. I'm going to count from 5 down to 1. And as I do, I'm going to snap my fingers, and you're going to have a new identity around this goal. At 5, feeling relaxed, feeling present. At 4, starting to notice your body, how your chair feels. At 3, maybe your toes and fingers wiggle. At 2, you feel a confident, passionate energy rising from within you. Feeling better and better. And at 1, wide awake, back in the room, back with your new identity. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Would anybody like to share?
Steve.
So my goal is based around health for my 90-day goals. And I think the thing that stood out most to me is just the way when you were describing the light, the circle of light, and picking the color. The color for me really was very vivid, and it really stood out, and it was a very bright, fiery red, and it just allowed me to give me passion for where I am right now and moving forward. I mean, it's already started to change just the way I'm thinking about, I shouldn't be thinking about food already, but I guess I am. But I'm thinking about what I'm not going to eat more, because I feel like that fire is there already. So that was really
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. So, great job, Steve. So this is one of my favorite routines. It's called the gift process. And what you do is you analyze yourself, you analyze the emotions like you're a spectator. It's easy to see ourselves successful as a spectator, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you do that so clearly, and then in a relaxed state, when you step into it, your subconscious mind goes, oh, holy shit, we have a different hormonal environment we need to create. So it starts dumping dopamine and serotonin and endorphins. That starts to rewire our bodies. Does that make sense? It starts to rewire our minds. So again, if you're a smoker trying to quit smoking, it doesn't always happen in one session. So don't think this is it, although this could be it. You guys are going to go accomplish your goals now. I guess I don't want to prime you not to, but so this could be enough.
It will be enough.
It is enough, but you guys are going to go home and make those grooves even deeper. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now's the good stuff. This is the bonus material. You guys up for that?
Yes.
All right, how many of you, where are my Reiki people? Oh, we got a couple. We got a couple. Next time it's going to be a lot more after this. So you guys have all heard law of attraction, the secret, all that stuff, yes?
Yeah.
And you guys know that when we go down to a microscopic level, we're just a bunch of atoms, and in those atoms, there's just swirling energy,
Yes.
right? We're just energy, okay? And quantum physics says that every particle is connected. So if I have a thought, it goes out into the universe, it influences every other atom out there. You guys on board?
Yeah.
You guys are past this stuff, so I'm not going to get too far into the details here. So I'm going to draw a new version of you. This time you have a body.
Yes.
Yes.
Got this.
Very handsome.
It's a little short.
Yeah, it's Jonathan. All right, so what happens is our endocrine system, which is my favorite thing. You know, a lot of people talk about the nervous system accomplishing your goals, but I love the endocrine system. Now, what happens with the endocrine system is we change our focus and our hormones change, right? We get that text from someone that says, we need to talk. Right? Just by changing our focus, you can feel those hormones. You hear bare footsteps in the woods. Oh, shit. Right? Our hormones start to change, our body changes. So what happens, we have patterns that those hormones store in different energy centers. Right? So that cortisol that drops in my stomach, it leaves a residue. It influences the way my energy moves through my digestive system. Does that make sense? So in each one of our energy centers, if Mauricio and I have the same emotional pattern, a lot of times we'll have the same physical ailments as well. So each energy center is responsible for a group of organs, a system in our body. You guys want to know what those are? How much time do I have?
Yeah.
Enough.
Enough, right?
Forever.
I'll just keep going. So in Reiki, there's 7 main energy centers. Who heard Master Co speak on the Monday Night Live?
It was great.
You guys missed it if you didn't see it.
It's amazing.
So his style is pranic healing, and there's more minor chakras with that. I'm just going to go over the 7 major ones right now. So the first one is our root chakra. This is like up under here. It's at the base of our spine, and they each have a color. So the root chakra is red. The root chakra is power, it's money, it's survival, it's our environment, it's our physical safety. So if you guys don't feel physically safe, then you're going to have hormonal patterns that affect that. And that affects physically, structurally, it affects our musculoskeletal system. So nowadays, we're not as worried about our survival. This means money and career for us. So if you guys experience a lot of lower back pain, a lot of times that's associated with stress about money. So physically, structurally, are we worried about our environment? If we are, those hormones drop, affect this energy center. I went through a phase where my muscles and joints were starting to break down when I quit my job because I was under a lot of stress from that. Now I feel amazing. All right, so that's root chakra. Make sense?
Yes.
So next is our sacral chakra. So that's kind of here. This is our sex organs. This is where we hold a lot of energy around addictions. So if you guys, we all have issues in every area, so trust me. I wrestled for years, and I have this emotional pattern where I think success means starving myself and being like very Spartan in my diet, going out and accomplishing my goals as an athlete, and then feasting. So that pattern's carried with me as an adult, and now I used to eat a lot, right? You know how this goes. That's a real emotional pattern that's stored in me. But we all have addictions. We think cigarettes are going to meet our needs and values in a certain way. We think about it, we create energy down here. Does this make sense?
What is that called again?
Sacral. So this is addictions, pleasure, and relationships. Sex. a lot of us store sexual trauma in our sacral chakra as well. Someone I was working with, kind of just informally coaching, did some clearing out of there and woke up in the middle of the night having orgasms because that energy wanted to get out, right? She stored it for a long time and wanted that to get out. So this is relationships and addictions in our sacral chakra. Make sense?
Yep.
This is our reproductive organs. This is all the fluids in our bodies, our lymph system. So if you think about your relationship, you have stress about it, it's going to store in your sacral chakra. Everybody on board?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we move up to our solar plexus. Right in here, this is the top of our digestive tract. And this is power and control and how we digest life, how we process change, just like how we process food. So a lot of times if you're OCD, if you have control issues, you start to develop digestive issues as well. Right? IBS, Crohn's disease, a lot of that stuff comes from not knowing how to process life. Thinking about having a power struggle with your boss and having those emotional patterns drop down into our solar plexus. So anytime you're in stress, anytime you're in fight or flight, you're not in rest and digest. So when you eat like that, you don't digest your food properly. You have leaky gut, you have all these different things from the stress around that. You store that energy in there for a long time, pretty soon you start to have chronic issues. This is why anytime you have a minor little health issue, it's really important to try to take care of it as soon as possible. Because generally there's an emotional pattern that creates it, and the longer you let it go, the worse it gets. Cool?
Yes.
So, what's this one? Roots. Yeah, I could, but I want you to learn. Root. Number 2, sacral. Number 3, good. And number 4, heart. Yeah, that was the meditation this morning. So Tony Robbins' priming is dropping down into your heart energy, breathing into your heart, focusing energy there, letting energy flow through your heart. So Master Code did his hand exercise. You guys can feel energy moving in your hands, right? Just like that, we can change our focus and move energy through different systems in our body. What I do a lot with hypnosis is I combine hypnosis and reiki, and I just have you use your mind to flush out that system, and then I give you a new program. So when you think about accomplishing your 90-day goal, you don't get tight and tense, right? You think about it and you're like, oh, that's going to be fucking awesome. You feel good about it. So that's why these two are a great combination. So the heart chakra is obviously love. And your heart for health. So someone that experiences a lot of anger, their heart chakra tends to shrink. That's why they always say people that have a temper are likely to have heart attacks. That's a real thing. It's just an emotional pattern, guys. And that can change. So that's the heart chakra. This is your most powerful chakra. Biggest energy field. You put out more energy from your heart than your brain. You guys following? Cool. So your throat is then how you express yourself. Our body's really just kind of like an analogy for our lives, for our spirits. So throat is how we express. Anytime you have a thought about, if I say this, am I going to hurt people's feelings? Stressing about being your true self, having your true identity, living your true purpose, and expressing your true self, those emotions store in your throat chakra. So you might have issues there. I don't really know that much about the throat chakra, or about what it's tied to. But it's swallowing, breathing,
Thyroid.
It's also
the thyroid system. Yeah. So each of these centers has specific glands, endocrine glands in them that spits out the hormones.
I was going to say it's also associated with speaking the truth. Like
Speaking your truth, yeah.
For someone who tells a lot of lies, there's a reason for what you're covering.
Yes. Yeah. So this is your expression, and then it gets into your third eye chakra, which is your connection to your higher self and your intuition. Yeah, this is your sixth sense. So this is in your pineal gland in your brain. And this is tied to your 5 senses. So you hear your higher self, your intuition, when you're in the present moment. And our 5 senses, when we focus on them, bring us into the present moment. So if I focus on how the food tastes, how the music sounds, and I sink into that texture, I become more present, and I can hear my intuition better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. This one I've really been focusing on a lot lately. And then last is our crown chakra. So this is our connection to the divine. That comes from our head. This is why Master Code does a lot of stuff on seeing energy coming into the crown, out through the crown, opening up your crown chakra, opening your connection to the divine. Now, here's the real secret. So we have all these energy centers. It affects our health, affects our emotional patterns. This then sends a signal out to the universe about each of those areas. And we attract what we put out. Do you guys know anyone that's been in the same relationship 5 times? If it's you, don't raise your hand. That's because they have a pattern, they have a thought pattern about themselves and a belief pattern about themselves and about their potential partners. Their endocrine system creates a response to that. That message stores in an energy center, and we send that out to the universe. And then we attract the same person over and over. And when we leave them, we're like, finally, it's their fault, right? Now I can find somebody. The problem is we take ourselves with us. And so we live that same relationship over again. We quit one job, we go to the next job. We quit one job because the boss was an asshole. We go to the next job, and we have the same problem. We're fighting for control. We're struggling from our solar plexus for that control.
How do you put that energy out? It's because it's like, I don't get it.
It's because you are energy, and your energy is connected to everything.
So how do you control that? How do you?
Well.
it's guided meditations, the reiki, pranic healing, all of those meditations, and then using hypnosis. So when you think about whatever you want, so what's your 90-day goal? Do you want to share?
Do 8 transactions in 90 days.
Real estate?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that's tied to our root chakra. So we want to have, when we think about real estate, we want to think the stress around that. We want to think this is fun. We want to focus on the end result. And a lot of times we have anchors around the failing part. We think real estate, oh, but I failed at this last job. And we keep trying to fight back and forth. So if you have a new subconscious program that ties you into the success because you've owned that energy and that's become your new identity, then your energy center starts to put out a different signal. The deal is just...
So you just change the emotional connection.
You just change the emotional connection. And the first step is awareness, right? But does awareness change us?
No. It helps you to find.
Yes, but it often stays in our neocortex, right? So it does help. Sometimes we can have an extreme emotional event just around awareness, and that creates a new pattern. But a lot of times it's the hypnosis, the extreme emotional events of visualization.
Because when you can visualize something that's not actually going on in your life, you can put yourself there and it just makes everything else.
Yes. Yeah. All right, guys. I have 15 minutes left for questions. I actually have 2 minutes left, but I would love to get questions. So hypnosis and Reiki, this is how I use these two to flush out that negative energy, put new thought patterns in. Because if I do Reiki and I clear an energy, or hypnosis and clear an energy pattern, but your subconscious autopilot has the same system going, you're gonna have the same issues. Make sense?
I think you should share with them that some chakras are interconnected with each other.
Yeah, I thought about that, but we're pretty much out of time. So so your chakras balance with each other. So your gut is tied to your intuition, your third eye. And so a lot of times if you have a gut feeling about something, you guys ever had a gut feeling? That's a connection with your intuition. So there's more to this. This is kind of like intro level, but Britt, you had your hand up first.
Yeah. Do you have a recommendation for guided meditations going through the chakras or
Yes.
dealing with that and analyzing that?
So I created one, and then my toilet leaked and rained down on my computer and my table below. So that one wasn't meant to be. But yeah, I'm coming out with a whole group of recordings that's anchoring different emotional states to smells and colors and songs. And I'm doing a chakra clean one. So yeah, I'll have that out. There's definitely ones online too.
Do you have anyone to recommend until yours goes up?
Doreen Virtue has one. It's a little airy-fairy, angelic, but it's okay.
Very angelic.
When I have one, I'll let you guys know. Yes.
If you have a feeling that you're living an emotional pattern and showing up in different ways, and you can't quite pinpoint it, like with the woman who dropped the chicken, if you can't quite pinpoint that triple E, where do you start trying to figure out where to dig that line?
I don't know. You could probably find someone who knows stuff like that, but other than that, yeah. So through hypnosis, you can put someone into trance state and they can recall those incidents. A lot of times if we have an event, we block it out. So through hypnosis, you can recall events like that as well.
How do you distinguish, so you know how you drew the subconscious?
Yes.
I'm I'm looking at something right now for my 90-day goal, and I can't tell the difference between subconscious fear about doing it and a gut reaction that might actually be something that, we do need protection. We ought to protect ourselves from stupid decisions. What's the difference between your gut and the unhelpful subconscious?
That's a great question. So, for me, this distinction came really this year. The difference is the emotional state that feeling comes to you in. So if you're in a state of total presence, of total love, and you have a thought, generally it's the right thought. Generally it's that gut feeling. So I'm at Tony Robbins, I'm doing this breathing exercise, and I have this thought of a vision for my future that just pops in my head, nothing I'd ever thought of before. Right? Oh, that's something I should listen to. I'm in an amazing state right now. When you live in stress and fear and you have that thought of, oh, I shouldn't do this transaction, it's probably just you're in the wrong state. Does that make sense? And so, like Jonathan said, that clarity comes to us when we're in a state of love. So, if you're in a state of total love and total presence, your energy centers, anything can happen, like almost instantly. Like Matty A said, it's one thing. It's one deal, it's one person, it's one meeting. That shit can happen instantly. If you are totally congruent and love-based with your goals, and you're totally present, and these energy centers don't hold fear or doubt, you can walk on fire, right? We've all walked, some of us have walked on fire before.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus walked on water. There's energy healers all over the world. Different sects, different religions that are doing literally miracles because they come from that love space. So that's the connection of all religion, of all spirituality, is spending less time in fear and doubt and more time in love.
If someone wants to learn more about this and get certified in Reiki healing and hypnosis and whatnot, where would you suggest they look?
I can't think of anybody to talk to. So yeah, I can direct you guys a little bit. Yes?
I'm a little new to this. You mentioned psycho-cybernetics. Any other books that you recommend about that?
The question was about books that I would recommend. Yes, I have a long list. Psycho-cybernetics is one. The Science of Getting Rich is actually a very simple book on how your emotional patterns affect your wealth and how to feel gratitude and faith and all of those things. Yeah, I'll give you guys some book recommendations. You guys like that?
Yeah.
Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. You got anything else?
I was gonna say that one.
Yeah, that's a great one. So that's a lot about the energy centers.
Dispenza.
Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, is fire.
The one before that.
Hey, we need a list.
You
We're gonna need a
are the
list.
placebo or
Like
Breaking the habit of being
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So Joe Dispenza's work is very good as well. Mauricio.
I heard you are an M1 coach. How does that work?
Yes, I do coaching through M1 as well. So it's $600 a month for 4 calls, and I do specialized recordings for you guys. We'll get into your values, beliefs. We'll dig those out. Because even if you spend $25,000 on that real estate course, but you don't fix the subconscious emotional patterns, it's not going to make a difference.
Can we get an M1 Montreal deal?
No, there is no M1 Montreal deal.
Let's hypnotize you.
The deal is my prices are going up after I get too many clients, so get in now. Yes, Pablo.
So I'm going to share something going to keep your price.
Okay.
So I've been working with Nick, and I can definitely share, I want to share with you guys that we're going to always have fears and doubts, and at some point when you have clarity, that fear goes away. You just need to just dig into yourself, understand what you want, and just go for it. And then you stop doubting because you have clarity on your path. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Pablo's been a joy to work with.
I have a paradox that sometimes you are aware that you are making a decision, but you repeat the same pattern. The only difference is like before you were not aware of it. Is that possible to keep repeating a pattern even though you are aware? I'm into Reiki, I've been doing it in therapy, but sometimes I even repeat patterns of my behaviors and personality that surprise me. The only difference is that I'm aware, but I'm not able to break the pattern.
Yeah, so the question was about repeating patterns. And yeah, that all comes back to neocortex conscious goals. We're aware of things, but because we don't have the extreme emotional event, we haven't created a new program so that subconsciously that changes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that difference between the neocortex and our limbic system that respond automatically. Who has the final question? Edna.
I was going to say, I think everybody's question is, what's your offer to us? Because everybody's interested, right? But
yes.
How do we
So moving forward, I prefer to do coaching. One-on-one sessions, I've never wanted to be like run a hypnosis practice where I just do one-on-one clients. It's really that path to success and understanding yourselves and understanding how to apply that to your life and teach what I'm teaching you as well. So that right now is through coaching. I'm also working on my course and some other stuff, but right now it's one-on-one coaching for $600 a month, and that's 4 calls with custom recordings and as much help as I can give you guys.
All right.